Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Mason's Musings. Today, I am joined by the very smart Say Young from Netflix's hit show Million Dollar Secret. How are you?
Yeah, so excited to talk.
Yes. But right before I dive in, real quick, I know I had spoken with Lydia a couple weeks ago, and she had mentioned that you thought it was an escape room.
Yeah, that's so funny how because it was season one of the show, nobody really knew the structure of the show to expect and like what kind of mechanics were gonna be in play. And I think because in the casting process, we had focused so much on my experience and background as a gamer. So for me, I had been primed going into the show thinking it was gonna be more of kind of like a escape room, lots of like puzzles and clues hidden around the house to solve, like a very different game than it actually ended up being. I thought, we were gonna have such difficult challenges and stuff like that. And like kind of the number one question I get is why were you picking stuff up around the house? And it was because I thought there would be like immunity idols and clues and stuff hidden around for us to discover.
Oh yeah, because I remember watching the show. I was like, "What?" I was confused myself too. I was like, "What is
Yeah.
going on, man?"
And it's so
Oh,
funny because I had actually told the whole house, I was like, we can work together to try and like find these clues and put them together and it's gonna tell us who the millionaire is. And they don't show any of that.
oh, so you were like, "Oh, this is a filmed escape room. This is what we're doing."
Yeah, I thought that might be part of it.
Yeah. So how was it for you, like being like the awkward gamer girl type, walking in and just being surrounded with like damn near models?
I know it was so surprising for me because I really thought I was like, well, they would never cast me on a show with like a bunch of hot people. So I went in expecting it to be a bunch of other like kind of geeks and nerds. I don't know if you ever saw, there used to be this show called King of the Nerds, where it was like a very similar concept. They brought a bunch of nerdy people into one house. They played a bunch of challenges and games and like you tried to win them all. I was expecting that kind of vibe. So when I walk in on that first scene and I'm like, oh my God, that is so not the crowd I was expecting. It really, really threw me off my game. So it's so funny because I was like trying to make small talk and bond with people, but it was like none of it was landing because we just came from such different worlds. So it really, I think, my social game was not working for these people.
Yeah, we have like Sam, who's like a model cop. Chris, right off a Hollister campaign somewhere. So it's like this is, and then Lauren was the mom. So who did you bond with most there then?
It's so funny because they don't show any of it, but my closest relationship when we were actually in the house was Sam. Sam was like
Oh,
so immediately so kind and welcoming and really like took me under her wing. And
hmm,
you really see that side of her later on where she's basically too kind and trusting of Kara. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, like yeah, Sam was kind of like my safe space when in the 2 days that I was at this stack.
Oh, so you only got to film for 2 days and it was just a
Oh
wrap?
yeah. Oh, I like
Oh,
they were like packed to be gone for 3 weeks, and I had packed all the stuff, and then I was done in 2 days.
oh, that's inconvenient. That's so inconvenient. So how was it like preparing for the show? Did you have like do you have like family home life that you had to get rid of just like for like this 3 week mental space, or how was that for you?
Yeah, thankfully, like 3 weeks is nothing compared to a show like Big Brother. Big Brother is like 3 months,
three
and
months.
Survivor, depending on what format it is, it's like 32 days or like 42 days, like depending on what they do for the season. So 3 weeks was not too bad. I was able to like get time off work and stuff like that. To prep for it, I definitely watched a lot of like traders and I was reading more about different theories and different games. I now wish I had kind of done none of that and gone in there super relaxed. I think that my game would have been benefited from that. I think I went it way too like
Oh, you were
Also
a little
had
over
to,
prepared.
yeah, I think so. I think I was too much like in my head, had put pressure on myself to like figure it out. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
being the show. And I wish I had just kind of relaxed instead.
Yeah, I saw like a lot of people just went in blind and they were like, "Oh, well, I guess this is what we got to do now." But you were like, "I need to watch." So, how were you familiar with Traders before the show, or were you like, "I need to
Oh
watch this
yeah.
for"? Oh, so you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I love these kinds of shows. I love any kind of challenge shows. Obviously, I play a lot of board games. I play a lot of social deception games like Werewolf just for fun. So I kind of, I think, went in too like in my head about what the game was and what was going to be the best thing. And I think it would have been better to go in there and just feel it out and be a little bit more loosey goosey.
Oh, so as a mom, was it a little hard for you to just kind of like mentally prep to be away from like your baby for a couple of weeks, or were you like, I kind of need this break, so it's kind of fun?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I, in the moment or like leading up to the show, didn't think it was gonna be that impactful on me, but it definitely, looking back on it, really contributed, I think, to my like emotional fragileness, if you will, because it was my first time ever being away from my baby, you know,
Oh,
so to have that and also have like, you know, no phones, you can't like call home, you can't like do, you know, any sort of internet stuff, you're kind of just isolated, you know, in the house with like books. So, and I also only brought horror books to read. I was reading The
oh wow.
Shining, which is all about, you know, being trapped in a big mansion with bad spirits. So I'm sure like that did not serve me well. Great book
Oh,
though.
oh, great. I've never read the book. I've watched. I'm sorry. I've watched the movie, so I was like, oh, I don't know. Is it the same? True? Are the books really better than the movies?
Well, they're very different, right? The Kubrick adaptation of The Shining, I think, is such a great movie, but it feels really different from the book. So I really enjoy both.
Okay, because I've just never been. I've never been a book type. I just can't get into them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about like having to read. I don't know. I'm just like I did enough of this in school. I don't want to do this again.
You should get into audiobooks. Like, I feel like that would be
Audiobooks.
so
Oh, that feel
helpful.
like way better.
Yeah.
It's like listening to a podcast almost.
Exactly. And like now they're starting to do a lot more production with audiobooks and put in like music and sound effects and stuff.
Oh.
So very
Oh,
interesting.
okay. With your name being Se Young, I just have to ask, what is your ethnicity?
So I'm Korean,
Oh,
and
you're
it's
Korean.
so
Okay.
funny because there's actually like Taeyong is not a super uncommon name. So there's a actress that's fairly popular in Korea who has the name Taeyong, and there's a professional badminton player. So even though like in America I have an unusual name, if you Google Taeyong, I'm not even in the first page of searches. Like I am not the most, you know, searchable Taeyong.
Well, I just had a feeling because I'm Taiwanese, so I was like, Se Young, is she Korean? Okay, so
Yeah.
I just had to ask out of my own curiosity. What do you think is one thing that people kind of assumed of you, like off camera on the show?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Because I feel like Asians don't get cast on reality shows and challenge shows in America very often,
Now that I think
right?
about it, no.
And I think they kind of a lot of times want us to kind of fit into the trope of like quiet, nice, smart, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So that in some way I think people kind of maybe saw me in that lens. But also, I was there honestly for such a small amount of time. I feel like people didn't even really have time to make their mind up about me, right?
No,
You know?
yeah, you were there for two days.
Yeah, like that's nothing, you
That's
know? Like,
not on reality TV. That's nothing to get to know somebody
yeah.
at all. No, you need like I need 4 episodes max to get a feel for somebody. What do you think you could have done better, like for you strategically to
Oh,
stay in that house longer than just 2 days?
okay, so if I could go back in time and do it again, I'm immediately sitting down with Lauren, Sam, Lydia, and me. And we are verbally making a pact that we are not voting for each other no matter what. It's so
Mm.
funny because in my head, I was was trying so hard to try and figure out a majority alliance, which is why I posed like the all girls alliance thing, because then we would have had the numbers. But seeing how the game played out, you really didn't need a strong majority. And a group of four can actually be a very powerful alliance to at least get you into the mid season, right? The mid game. So I think that if I had have had that knowledge and I just like got the four of us together, we decided just one person we were voting on, right? And swore, like, promised to not vote against each other, which I think emotionally we would have all been in because we really felt like a group and we gravitated towards each other very naturally, but we had never just like verbalized that to each other. You know what I mean? So I think that would have actually gotten us a lot further in the game.
I mean, as we saw later on in the game, alliances did become a really big key. There was two groups, the ins and the outs, and I was like, damn, this is how the cookie crumbles. That's unfortunate. Have you?
And I think immediately when we met each other, it was very clear how the group was gonna form. The groups were gonna form. I think there was definitely something in the air. You know, like people have that just kind of like,
yeah, you just know,
like unspoken sense of what the groups are.
So if you who would you have like picked to be on your group? Would you have picked anybody from the other alliance to be on your group?
To me, it was very clear off the bat that Chris, Sydney, Corey, Jamie, and Phil were gonna group with each other. And I've definitely heard that they were not a solidified alliance, after the show came out. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting because I perceived them to be such a solid alliance. I wasn't sure where Kara and Kyle stood, but I knew that Kyle ultimately, he was gonna stick with the boys, basically, when it came down to it. I really did not have a sense about Kara. She was just so...
And nobody did.
Kind with everyone and very much got along with everyone, so I didn't know. I just knew that she wasn't a solid slam dunk for, like, an alliance with me.
Yeah, you gotta look out for the ones like Kara. It's always the quiet ones, the ones that, if you get along with everybody, I don't know. What is
and
it?
You hear everybody say, like, everyone's strategy was to come in, be quiet, like go unnoticed.
Nobody did that but Kara.
Yeah, no one was able to pull it off, but Kara like played it masterfully,
Yeah, what's the saying? A friend to all is a friend to none. Yeah, she killed that. Well, when you're not being, having a fun time on reality TV, what do you do in your real life? What do you do in your everyday, just you life?
Yeah, it's so interesting because we hear so much about Sam and Lydia's professions, but we really don't hear about what anyone else does. Oh, well, I guess we hear about Sydney too. So I'm a researcher, so I work doing consumer insights research in video games and apps. So literally my job day to day is like looking at games, taking them apart, figuring out how to make them better, like stuff like that. So I felt very suited to play a game like this, a challenge game like this, but also, again, I think that really contributed to me overthinking, you know what I mean? Like, and being too in my head.
Oh, okay. So, can you, if you're allowed to, can you say some of the games that you've had the pleasure of getting to break down and analyze?
So I've worked on like such a huge wide range of games. So earlier in my career, I worked on a lot more like PC console titles like Battlefield, Call of Duty, and like stuff like that. The past few years, my work has been a lot more in mobile games. So stuff like Candy Crush, Words with Friends, and stuff like that. So I kind of run the gamut, of the gaming industry, and I'm really fortunate, I think, to get to work in a space where it's like fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's something I actually like to think about and do day to day. So that's been really cool for me.
I just have to ask, as somebody who plays Candy Crush, is there a way to get, or like any mobile game, is there a way to get some of these ads? Can we get rid of those? Just like a little less of those? There's so many.
Yeah, I know. And that's like what's so crazy right now too, as the economy takes a downturn. Obviously, all sectors of like entertainment and entertainments are taking a dive. So gaming industry is actually having an economically really hard time right now. So
Mm.
it's so insane to think about how the payment structures and types of mechanics are going to have to adapt to people not being as willing to spend money. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be really really interesting and difficult to see how the industry adapts to kind of the realities of being alive right
Yeah,
now.
and like not just gaming, pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I
like how
saw.
movies, like no one goes to see movies in theaters anymore because they're super expensive.
I still go to see movies. I like watching movies in the theaters. I mean I watch them at home, but like you really I don't know. There's nothing beating that experience for me. I love going to the
Have you seen
theater.
Sinners?
No, I haven't. What's that about?
It's Ryan Coogler, and like it's a like movie about vampires, and they're all the vampires are like Black Americans. I think there are Americans in the movie, and I'm just like dying to go see it, but I haven't seen it yet. It's supposed to be so good.
Oh, is
You
it
should
like
see
out
it.
in theaters now?
It just came out. Yeah.
Oh, so then I want to go see that then because that sounds like kind of interesting and up my alley. Definitely.
Yeah.
What are some challenges that you've navigated having to face like just like in school as a teenager, like on the show? What were some of these like challenges for you other than not feeling like like too much in your head or like a bit of like overthinking for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting, right? Like being a minority in lots of different ways. So obviously, I am an immigrant. Like I moved here from Korea when I was young. I'm queer. I'm like a woman. Like there's so much, so many different spaces where I never felt like I quite was accepted or belonged. Being very like neurodivergent and like kooky or quirky or weird, like whatever you want to call it. But I think part of the growth that I've done in my 30s and something I need to continue to work on because I'm obviously not totally there yet is just like being internally comfortable with the fact that not everyone is gonna like you, not everyone is gonna get you, and that is okay, right? Like you don't need to be like everyone's like not everyone has to like you. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world. So some people will like. You just gotta take some time and find your own squad. I mean, I resonate with that as well. I'm just like, listen, if you don't like me, don't like me. That's fine. If you love me, great. I love you too. It's just there's a whole planet of people out here. Everyone has their niche and their groups to jibe with, for
and I
sure.
think that's so easy to intellectualize, but very hard to actually embody. You know what I mean? So I'm still working on it at my old age. So I think it will kind of be a lifelong thing.
You really think so? It'll be like a whole lifelong journey for you?
I think so. Well, like, because even, like, for example, when I first met Sydney, I was like, well, this bitch is gorgeous and tall and, like, beautiful and fit as fuck. Like, of course she's gonna, like, be this type of person. But you see her talk about, like, growing up in a super small town, being bullied, like, people always misunderstanding her. So I think, like, well, everyone feels misunderstood in certain spaces in some way, right? And we're
Yeah.
all working on it. And even people who are perceived as having everything, like they have their own shit too. So
Everybody got something going on.
yeah, exactly.
And especially like I think like now in the age of like social media, don't get jealous of people like having nice lavish things on their stories because I don't know, you don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. Some people have it worse behind closed doors.
And it's also I waffle wildly between. One part of me is like I hate how much of social media is about putting forth a curated image and nobody's actually being their real self online. Like, why can't we all just be super authentic and not fake anything?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like that. Other times I'm like, you know what? If I could also be just a gorgeous little girl that goes to a nice restaurant, sits down, has a very aesthetic meal, and fucks off, like, and make money doing that, of course I would do it.
Oh, I'm
Like,
down. If I could be like an influencer, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You don't have to ask me
exactly.
twice. I'd do
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah. So I waffle wildly between those two feelings.
if you won $1 million, what is the first thing that you would have done with it?
I mean, there's the boring answers, right? Like pay off my mortgage, save
Yeah.
money for my kids' college, so blah blah blah, boring stuff. The thing I would have loved to do, so I would have loved to go visit Korea because I haven't been since I immigrated to the U.S. and Korea being such a quickly changing country, like the Korea I left does not exist anymore, right? Like, so I would love to go back, like, hang out with my cousins again, get to know what Korea is like now. That would have been incredible. I would have loved to repaint my house because after the show, I moved to Oregon. I bought this 100-year-old house.
Oh, I
And
saw. Yes.
yeah, I painted it and it's a terrible color.
Oh no, it didn't turn out that well.
No, it's like, you know when you look at the like swatch
Mm-hmm.
and then like it looks nothing like what it actually looks like on the wall.
Why
So,
does it always happen? I swear, like I don't know why that happens so often.
I know, and I'm in almost. It made me like kind of spiral and think like, am I colorblind and didn't know my whole life? Because I was like, this is not the same color.
What did it look like, the sage green, or did it apply like a mushy gray?
So I thought I was picking like a really nice, mild, millennial green, like
Yeah.
sage green, and then we painted it. It's like bright, vibrant mint.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like candy mint.
No.
And I was like, no. But
No.
it's very expensive to get a house painted. So I was
Paint
like,
is so expensive. I didn't know that paint could be like $300.
dude, paint is so expensive. Like you can only paint the exterior during the non-rainy season because if it's too humid, it won't dry properly. Like everything involved with owning a house is so expensive, and then if you own an old house, it's double expensive. It's crazy.
Oh, how do I see? I'm based in Florida, so I wonder how people here like get their houses painted because it's humid all the time. There's just no
I
off
wonder
season.
too. Yeah, because I'm in
Jesus.
Portland, Oregon, and my painter, who is wonderful, was like, yeah, like we're about to go into the rainy season. Like we cannot have it be, actively raining when we paint. Like it's got to cure, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm very curious how they do it in Florida.
And now on to the segment where these are just a lot of fan submitted questions where some of these have nothing to do with the show. Some of them might. I don't really know. But this question says, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Because I operate from a place of so much anxiety, I cannot ever sing
Really?
karaoke. Ever. Like, I would rather kill myself. But my favorite song to sing when I'm by myself is, do you know What's Up by Four Non Blondes? Is that too old of a song for you to know?
I wouldn't say that's too old. I'm just not knowledgeable of that song.
Yeah. You should look at it. It's such a good song, and it's one of those, like, scream it in your car songs. Wait,
Oh.
do you know the meme with He-Man? The meme where it's like He-Man on a sparkly background and he's like singing?
Yes,
It's
yes,
that
I do.
song.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh my gosh, you remind me a lot of my older sister. She's a millennial. She got glasses too. It's crazy. You guys are like on the same wavelength. I feel like I'm talking to my sister right now. This question.
There's a whole genre of like millennials who grew up like way too chronically online. You know what I mean?
Yes, very this.
That's us.
This question says, you've got 5 minutes to get ready for a date. What are you throwing on? What perfume are you spraying? And what's your game plan?
All black, always all black. Like that's what I wear no matter what. And then no scent because I am allergic to most fragrances. I cannot do any scent, including on like lotion and stuff.
Same. I
Here's the
hate
thing.
it.
You would never know it, but I'm actually really good at first dates. Like I know it's like my whole thing was I'm awkward. Like in my 20s, I lived in San Francisco, and like tech people like really vibe with this energy. Like this is what I mean when I say like some people will hate you and some people will love you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like guys that are in gaming, like yeah, going the girl who like knows her shit about gaming. Like it
Oh, it's
has
probably dream
nothing
come
slammed
true right
dunk.
there.
Yeah.
Don't have to explain nothing. So always black. So with the perfume, it's just you just have allergies. Does it give you headache? Does perfume give you headache?
Gives me crazy headaches. I like
Same.
break out in hives. Like it's so crazy because that was part of the issue with being on the show too. Because they're like, well, we want you to get glammed and
Yeah.
like having products in my hair, having makeup on my face. I never do any of that. So just like all of it was so overstimulating to me. Like wearing tight clothes, wearing like low cut stuff. I'm like, I never do that in real life. So I think that also contributed to me like melting down, basically, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, if I ever get on another show, I'm just wearing like t-shirts and sweatpants. Like you cannot make me dress up.
I don't know. It depends on the show I get on. If I get casted on Traders, I'm gonna have to dial up Chanel or something. I want like some arc. I want to get the best I can. If especially if I'm only, if what if I get voted out at the first round table? At least I went out looking the best.
And like, it's so crazy because when I saw the show, I was like, oh my God, like the people who had tons of makeup on look so good. I'm like, there's a reason why like hair and makeup departments are like lauded, right? They make you look so good on camera. And I'm like, guess I should have sucked it up and put on more makeup.
Well, I heard that on the show you guys didn't have a hair and makeup crew. It's just like yourselves. You had to like get ready by yourself.
Yeah, we all go get ready by
Oh.
ourselves, which is like why I look a mess. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, like
Nobody's like
really
a
not.
naturally blessed MUA. That takes skill. What time did you have to get up in the morning to film?
It was different every day because it depended on what we were doing. And like sometimes it would be like midday. They're like, okay, now go switch up because we're gonna do this kind of scene, and then they lock you in your room for 2 hours, and you're just like sitting around getting ready.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? Yeah.
This one says, "What trend on social media needs to stop immediately?"
When people like rally and bully someone or like dox someone, you know what I
That's
mean?
not cute. That
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's
like,
not it.
and obviously there are bad people out there, but a million strangers going to their comments and telling them to kill themselves is not the solution, guys. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I get it. I get it. Listen, there are some people I see on my screen on TV. I don't like them and I ignore them. I don't go text them on Instagram. Go kill yourself. Like that's horrible. People, but the thing is, like that sounds crazy to us. There are people that do that though. Like that's what's wild. People do this and they think like they're right doing it.
Yeah. Like, so I'm in, like, K-pop stans get really toxic. I'm like a big Taylor Swift fan, and Taylor, like,
You are
Swifties
like my
get
sister.
super
I swear to
toxic.
God, my sister is the biggest Swiftie. She loves Taylor
Oh
Swift.
my God. Okay. My favorite thing that takes up way too much brain space is I am fully bought into the conspiracy theory that Taylor is queer, and that like all of this like super straight like relationships and like dating all the guys and like blah 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 is all a performance. It's called Gaylor. It's like a big deep community. We have PowerPoints. We have
PowerPoints. I'm screaming.
yeah, it's so fun, and I'm like I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but this is the one I believe 100%.
What I don't know. I can't even think of some conspiracies off the top of my head, but I don't know which.
Well, do you believe in aliens?
I don't know. Apparently they're real. Apparently the government was like they're real, so I guess I have to believe it. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't know yet. I want to see one in my face to believe it.
Yeah. Well, my belief is like I'm sure somewhere out in the universe there's like bacteria. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, there's
definitely for
like,
sure.
yeah, like I believe in aliens on that level.
Yeah, same. Okay, I'll do that on that level. Yeah. Do I believe that there's people like us on Mars? No.
No.
I'll shut that
I
down. Yeah.
wish. But
That'd be cool. Okay, and this is the last of my questions. This one says, be honest, do you think most influencers are actually interesting?
so I think the stuff I follow, and I follow a lot of kind of like micro influencers. I think they're interesting. Like, so one of the people I'm obsessed with is this like rich British girl in her 20s who's, I think, half Chinese, half white. And like, she is so beautiful. She dresses so well. Her life is just so beautiful. And like, that's like the type of influencer I like. She's the one glossy influencer.
Oh, okay. She's the exception.
Yeah, I love her. I think her name is Tamsin. Yeah, Tamsin. And then the other stuff I follow is like witches that like grow stuff in their garden and show themselves like building spell jars. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Those are
yes,
celebrities
yes.
in my life.
Um,
That lady that's like digging a tunnel under her house.
bro. Okay, I actually know. I actually know. Yes.
These are my celebrities. Okay.
Oh, who is your favorite celebrity, by the way? Who is yours?
My favorite celebrity.
Yes, all
Okay.
time. Besides Taylor Swift.
It is a tie between Angelina Jolie. She's like the OG queen, and Kristen Stewart, who I
Oh.
love. She recently got married.
Oh, did she really?
Yes.
Congrats.
Yeah, I know. And her like wife are so beautiful together. And Nicole Kidman. I think Nicole Kidman is like mother forever. I love her.
I get so much flack for mine. I think I don't know. I'm gonna get so much shit for this, but I love J Lo. I don't know why. I'm a big fan of Jennifer Lopez. It's like too crazy. I have like a shrine in my room. Yes. The silence is so loud.
No, she's like. But you know what? I do love a problematic fave. You know what I mean?
She's
There's something so
problematic.
beautiful about a problematic fave.
Wait, what did she do that was
You don't think
problematic?
so?
Who?
Um, her talking about how like she's from the streets. She's from
Oh,
like
that I think that is the
like,
funniest thing ever. The egg and cheese on a roll with an orange drink and a
the
small
orange
bag of
drink.
chips. I think that's the best shit ever. I'm like, girl, cut it out. It's been like 30 years. Oh, 40. It's been 40 years. The block's gone. Well, with that segment, that's a good segment. I would like to thank you so much for joining me on this lovely conversation. Where can my listeners find you? What are some projects that you have coming up for yourself?
Yeah, I'm at Seyoung, Seyoung on Instagram. I'm at Mint House PDX on TikTok. I post way more on TikTok than Insta. I don't really understand Instagram. I am currently just trying to get on another show because I feel like I have an incredible need to get on another show and do better. Like, don't get cut first. So I'm hoping to do that. We'll see if it happens. I don't really think it will, but what am I gonna do? Just keep applying.
You just keep applying. Well, you all heard. Go follow her on Instagram and on TikTok. And I will see you guys next week with a next guest. And thank you so much for joining me on this episode, So Young. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.